Well, what's up, Street Talk, Street Gods, Bitcoin Togs, or Kim in the house? All right, some thoughts. Yeah, essentially my simple idea is I think Bitcoin is like 99% balls. I think the other 1% is like, I don't know, conviction or, situation, I guess, right? But yeah, I think the truth is, yeah, Bitcoin is like 99% balls. I'll give you an example. So if you want to build cyber BALLS of steel, and actually I'm riffing off best friend Thomas Leutard, 85mm.ch, when he said that street photography was 99% balls, and it's still pretty true. And the funny thing is, the reason why Bitcoiners and street photographers, the reason why street photographers, street togs make such great investors. Oh, I like this avatar, so cool. This Chinese card is so cool. The reason why it kind of makes sense is because, but how do I? Is because yeah, it's just balls and courage. And typically my thought is the reason why Bitcoin, MSTR, MSTU togs are men is that, like, I think it's like 99% a hormonal rush. I mean, certainly there are a lot of women in the Bitcoin community as well. However, assuming you got like 99% of your wealth tied up in the coins, I think, yeah, men, we love the hormonal rush. So as a consequence, my personal poetic thought is, yeah, I think people are chasing. So the question is, what are they chasing in the Bitcoins? I think, actually, ironically, right? So my personal thought is, fear is just enthusiasm in disguise. So whenever you're curious about prices or whatever, right, you get the hormonal rush. It's like kind of more of a manifestation of like excitement or interest. So, and I'd be cross-pollinating everything like it's nobody's business. So one of the probably the major interesting things is if you cross-pollinate street photography, Bitcoin, weightlifting. Oh, another fun fact too. They use Tether in Cambodia. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna be wanting no Chinese yuan. So how does one stomach the volatility? So I think the first thought is kind of thinking and understanding that you actually want more volatility. And I think this is a hard notion for a lot of people to understand because, if you're from traditional finance or whatever, volatility is a positively bad thing. And so what a lot of investments do is they try to strip away the volatility, right? But, the Black Swan event, like Trump putting on 500% taxes on the Chinese, then all your models are destroyed, right? And so as a consequence, the intelligent way to think about things is, yeah, like to think about things which thrive or gain from disorder, Nassim Taleb's anti-fragile notion. And once you've done your 10,000 hours of Bitcoin research, just go to michael.com and watch everything. And you have insight, clarity, courage, and conviction. Yeah, just go all in. It's like pretty obvious. If anything, going 100% all in on Bitcoin, it's almost ironically the safest thing you could do. I'm actually in a much more quote risky position where I'm like MSTR and MSTU, which is 2x levered long MSTR. So essentially, I'm 4x levered long Bitcoin. And Sailor has this funny saying: if you really love, what's better than Bitcoin? Question mark. More Bitcoin. And the reason why MSTR then becomes interesting to me is that, similarly speaking, MSTR has higher volatility and therefore higher performance. It's kind of like, in life, do you want the Toyota Corolla, or do you want the Tesla Model S Plaid, and or do you want the whatever vehicle you have there? I think the reason why sometimes MSTR, MSTU is a little slower, I call it Bitcoin turbo lag. So, if you want to win the quarter mile race, having a turbocharger is better than having an all-wheel drive, all-motor car, because off the line, the all-wheel motor car is going to do better, and also maybe even possibly the electric car. But assuming you're going for speed records, you want the Bugatti Mistral or whatever, because you want that V16 dual engine, quad turbocharged gasoline plus electric thing, right? So if you're going for, assuming that money is not an option, what you actually desire is you want the most high performance vehicle. It's funny, the word vehicle, right? For the long term. So Bugatti, you want a Bugatti, right? So MSTR, MSTU is like a Bugatti, right? Bitcoin is like the Tesla Model S Plaid. I think that's a pretty good analogy. So what is like the Arakim Bitcoin starter kit? It's simple. Just open up Coinbase, buy Bitcoin, store it on Coinbase. It's kind of like anyone who tries to do the cold key stuff. That's totally legitimate. I just don't trust myself. And people talk about Coinbase getting hacked or whatever, right? I think it's definitely probably true, but I suppose the nuance is because it's like a US federal regulated American-based entity, I'd put a lot more faith in Coinbase. And apparently also Coinbase, Prime, is where a lot of the custodial services are. I'm also sure that MSTR also stores some Bitcoin on Coinbase. And so as a consequence, if it's good enough for sailors, it's good enough for me. Other things you could do. Get ChatGPT, get the paid one or the pro one, and play around with a new O3 model. To me, it's just it's very, very fun and entertaining. It's probably one of the best ways to get your minds off the market because it's much more active. And, people say prompt. I call it a query, Query. The half the fun of AI is however you query it is the result you're going to get. And therefore, to play with the variables is actually quite fun. Other things too, blogs are fun because with it you could essentially create something that's real. Get on Twitter X, get the blue check mark, $50 a month. It seems to be worth it. Essentially, and also don't trust nothing you see online. Don't trust Arakim. Don't trust any of the stuff I post, and think for yourself.